Hi, and welcome to the 2022 Salem Now Christmas Special. Folks, when we come back from my blabbering, I have some sad news for you. Can't be any sadder for you than it is for me. My heart is broken, truly. So, if you stay with us, we'll be back in a moment. Hi, and welcome back, folks. Well, as I said before, that wonderful opening that we couldn't hear in the studio, this is going to be Salem Now's very last show. For the past 10 years, my health has been failing since 2012. I had the first of 3 heart attacks, and then it just led to spinal stenosis, kidney disease, heart disease, cirrhosis, and the word came on October 21st, the word I've been waiting to hear, because it was all obvious, as a lot of you Salem Now family members know, I'm not one to hide anything. I've mentioned it in the past, that I'm a recovering alcoholic, 29 years dry. And for 29 years, I've been waiting to hear that word, cancer. And I heard it. So, believe me, folks, you don't know how much I truly love you coming into the comfort of your living room, doing the work for you so that the city can't buffalo you. We've had a lot of successes in doing that for you, but I'm unable to do it anymore. It's totally impossible. I would love to, but I just can't do it. So tonight, I decided to bring back 2 of my very favorites and good friends, Rosemary Rose and Ted Soloveitchus of Magical Magic Music, the 3M Corporation, and of course another one of your favorites, Anton Andresen, Salem's very own official magician. And I'm glad that I had my hands in the pot to help Anton get that credit that he well deserves. He's been doing the show since he was 13 years old. I remember when I called the Magic Parlor looking for a magician, and they said, "Oh, I don't know anybody, except we have this kid that hangs around out in front of the store and he does card tricks. So I was desperate because I was down to about a week. And I don't even think Anton knows this, but I was a little beside myself. I was saying to myself, oh, you know, card tricks. I mean, I want things to disappear and a lot of that stuff, you know, coming out of a box or whatever. But I figured, well, he's only a kid. And trust me, folks, since the COVID-19 crap started, we haven't been able to have an audience in the studio. And I miss having the kids strut their stuff like the Brenner School of Irish Dance. I can't think of all of them. It's totally impossible, but I want to thank them all because I've been in the entertainment field since I was 5. And I know what it's like. As Ted Solovegas could tell you, we go way back into the 60s with our rock bands. And it's very easy for a kid to lose that motivation. So I figured that by having the children on the Christmas special, it would uplift their ability to continue, because a lot of them have quite a bit of talent. And just like Anton, 13 years old, I didn't know what to expect, but he totally blew me away on that first show. And I was deemed to have him back again and again and again and again and again. And it's always been a pleasure. So tonight, that's our talent. We're going to go for an hour and a half because you know me, I don't talk much.
Come on.
At least not very much. I know sometimes they've joked on the set about bringing a roll of duct tape, but I always encourage my crew to enjoy themselves while doing the show, but I reminded them that when the fun gets in the way, they have to deal with me. And thank the Lord, I never had to deal with that, because they always had fun, even at my expense. They didn't know it, but I could see them talking on the headphones behind the camera, looking through the big window in the control room, and I knew they were laughing at me. But that didn't bother me because I wanted them to have as much fun as they possibly could. I know I've already gone on long enough, but I do have a few people I would like to thank. Well, first of all, we're going to close the book. This book is as old as the show. And I'm going to keep it in my room. And I don't think I'm going to open it. But a real good friend of mine showed up a little while ago and brought a picture of our very first show. His name is Ron Cox. He used to work here at SATV, then went to Wakefield, And from Wakefield, he went to Malden, his hometown, where he became the executive director 16 years and retired. He's an old man. And I know I can't show this picture on the camera. I don't think you can see it. I think it's pretty impossible. But that's a group shot of the very first Salem Now crew. And let's see if, well, good. There's Mr. and Mrs. Barabee. They left the show pretty early. Diane DeFazio, Tim Long, Mike Kenny, Jerry Judge, Bob Shea, and of course that old man, Ron Cox. And a funny story about, you hear about Leo the Lion Productions. It wasn't because my name is Leo. It's because when Ron was in front of the computer getting ready to feed the information for the very first show, he asked me what the production name was, and I said Salem Now Productions. He said, no, you can't, that's the name of your show. He said, you got to think of another name. So I'm thinking I couldn't come up with anything, and it just came out. I said, Leo the Lion Productions. And he turned to the computer, then he turned back with a big smile, and I said to him, what's there a problem with that? He said, no, I kind of like it. And I said, well, can I change it down the road? He said, you can change it anytime you want. So up till this day, it's always been Leo the Lion Productions. As you see at the end of the show, the big lion that's there, that was a dream of mine with a friend of mine, an electrician. When as you know, I've been in the construction field for 50 years and had my own business. And he's an electrician, and when I was doing a job where I needed electrical work done, we would be shooting the crap, and I happened to mention to him that I would like a lion, a tame lion, with its paws crossed. And for some reason, I guess it stuck in his head, and he was talking to his wife, and one day I happened to be driving by their home, and I don't know how she saw me, but she came running out of the house, and she said, wait a minute, wait a minute. So I pulled over, and she said, have you got a couple of minutes? I have something to show you. I said, sure, Rose. And she went back in the house and come out with these copy papers, and there were pencil drawings of different lions. And one of those lions was the one that you've been seeing at the end of every Salem Now show. So I asked her if I could borrow them and take them to the studio, and I took them and I brought them into the kitchen and put them out on the table, and I asked my crew. I never did anything without asking my crew, because I made many rules, and one of them is we all participate together. And I asked them to look over the pictures and decide on a lion. And of course, I was behind them, watching patiently, hoping and looking at which ones they were looking at. And I said, come on, come on, come on, pick a lion. So they said, well, we kind of like this one, but we really like that one. And it was the one that I loved, with the paws crossed. So we went through all the work. We had to have it shrunk and so that we could get it on the screen. And I happened to be talking to another staff member here at SATV, and I said, you know, I would really love the lion to blink. And that's the way I left it. And one day I come in here and he said, I have something to show you. So he played it back on his computer. I said, oh, that's our lion. He said, yeah, watch. And all of a sudden it blinked and stars came out of its eyes, one eye. He said, what do you think? I said, I love it. I said, could you put that together for my show? He said, sure. So ever since that day, that's the lion you've been seeing. Just a little bit of history of the show, especially the lion. As a young man in my, I would say, middle 20s, up in North Andover, they had a exotic animal pet store. And in one of the cages, they had a lion. And I kept going back to that cage, and I almost came home with it. I could see myself walking downtown Salem with a big lion and going to City Hall and going to the mayor's office. I imagine they would let me in. It wouldn't be a problem. But sadly to say, I never purchased that lion, but I was so close to purchasing him. It was unbelievable. I just fell in love with that lion. And a Hell's Angel friend of mine, who has since passed away, I can remember when he was walking downtown Salem. He was on just before the Hawthorne Hotel, Derby Street, not Derby, Essex Street. And it was just him and his well, they call them old ladies, but it was his girlfriend. He was walking an armadillo. And I pulled over and I asked him, you know, what the hell are you doing with an armadillo? He said, it's my pet. And I told him the story about the lion. He said, you should have went for it. I said, I'm almost thinking of going back and getting that lion. I loved it so much. But now, probably what, 50 years later, I still haven't got myself a lion. But, and I don't think I'm going to. But anyways, Anton,
Leo,
I want to welcome you back.
thank you so much.
You started the show in the very beginning.
Yep.
And
Thanks for taking a chance on me. You know, and it was I didn't know what to expect either
well,
at the time, and it's been amazing tradition to be able to come back year after year and be a part of the show. So I appreciate that, you took a chance on a 13-year-old kid doing some card tricks. So.
Well, I have a lot of faith in the kids, and that's a true story. I mean, I was just thinking that you were going to bore the people at home with with cards that they can't see, and even you have done card tricks here,
Yep.
but they've turned out fantastic. I still have a number 7.
I remember.
Seven of diamonds. It's right on my computer table.
Oh, that's so great.
It's in the mug, my pencil holder.
Yeah, I love that. I love hearing that. 13 years ago, I could have come out and done all that boring stuff, but I've actually saved it for the past 24 years. I'm going to do it today. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking with you, Lee. But yeah, no, I can't say enough how special it's been to be a part of the show over the years, and the opportunities it's given me to develop what I do, and your involvement and the care and consideration you've shown to me over the years. I can't say enough how much I appreciate it. Thank you.
Oh, it's definitely my pleasure. I mean, just to see you come along, and when I run into people out in the public and they bring up your name, I mean, we're the ones that gave you the name Anton the Great.
Yep, absolutely.
And that's how I was addressed by the people. They would say, "Oh, and that Anton the Great, he was awesome, and all nice things about you."
Oh, that's so nice to hear, and I love that. I love that stage name, Anton the Great, because I do have 2 older brothers, and so it's great that they're reminded of that. So, thank you for that.
How are they doing?
Everybody's doing great. My oldest brother, probably the smartest of us all, he's down in Florida enjoying the nice warm weather right now. And then my middle brother, he's here, in the area, and he's involved in the moving business and all. So, and my parents are great, and yeah, everybody's doing well. So thank you for asking.
Your mother's here tonight.
Yes, she is. Me too. She's come from the beginning, probably 24 years ago. Came to the first one and has come to as many as she can ever since.
Well, I can remember when your brothers and your mother and your father came to when we took the show from Old Town Hall to the Salem Common.
Yes, good memory. Good memory, man. Yeah.
It was,
and that was, my oldest brother was there for that too, which was really nice because again, he lives in Florida, so he doesn't get the opportunity to show up to a lot of these kind of things. And so yeah, but he actually resurfaced recently with some of the photos from then, which was kind of cool to see those. But yeah, it feels like another lifetime ago.
Well, remember at the State House where you were made the official magician of Salem, friends of yours came all the way from...
I know, that was such an amazing, that was unexpected.
They came from Florida,
They came from Florida, they did, yeah, which was so incredible. And I'll tell you, I don't know if I've ever told you this story, but that day when we got to the State House, right, it was myself, my mom, my dad, my middle brother, and then I had heard last minute that these friends were coming to surprise me. And the first couple people we spoke to at the State House, I said, "Hi, I'm Anton," and they're expecting me. Nobody had any idea what we were talking about. And I'm like, is this actually going to happen? I wasn't sure. I mean, like, could I actually be an official magician of a city? I didn't know. And then about maybe the third person we spoke to, they said, "Oh, we've been waiting for you." And I was like, I felt a huge bit of relief because I knew it was actually going to happen. But that was such an incredibly special day in my life, and that wouldn't have been possible without you, Leo. So thank you for...
Well, one of the things I knew for a fact you were going to be made Salem's official magician because of my friend, State Representative Paul Tucker, and Senator Joan Lovely.
Yes.
They're very good friends of mine, and they were upbeat when I called them, and they said, "Absolutely, And all we're gonna do now, we'll set up a date for you to show up at, and we actually taped it.
Yep.
We,
We had the crew there.
yeah. I arranged to be to have that done, and then they State Representative Paul Tucker took us out on the balcony, if you remember.
I will never forget, and the reason why is because my father, who's a very hard man to impress, he said afterwards, he says, I've been in every part of the State House, but I've never been on the balcony. And so that was really awesome, that something that had to do with my career as a magician got him into a place that he hadn't been to yet. And that was a really special thing for me. But yeah, I remember standing on the balcony, looking over the Commons. It was really incredible.
Well, that's what State Representative Paul Tucker said. He said, we're going to go out on the balcony where not many people have walked.
Yes.
And we did, and as a matter of fact, there were cameras down below, people protesting, and
oh yeah. I think I was more focused on the view of the Commons maybe at the time, but now that you say that sounds right.
Yeah. But and then I think a week or so later, I said to myself, I think I'll contact one of my friends on the Salem City Council, and I'll have them made by the Salem City Council.
Yep.
So we managed to pull that off, and you're not just the State House, but you also have the entitlement from the Salem City Council.
Yes.
And it was my pleasure to be there that night. And as a matter of fact, when our time was up, normally you're supposed to shut up. But they enjoyed the moment so much that they overrid that time. And I remember when you were showing them that trick of the 5 $1 bills, and then you folded your hand and opened it again, there was 5 $100 bills, and they were all blown away by it.
And I think somebody asked me if I could do it with the budget. I think was what I remember that. But yeah, that was I will never forget that moment, and was extremely special to me. So, and I knew they had let me go over time. So after I did that trick, I quickly got out of there because I didn't want them taking it back.
Well, as a matter of fact, they took a recess after that.
Right.
And then they came back to do the city's business. So
yeah, sometimes you need a little break after magic. It can be like a jarring experience.
Yeah, well, they probably all went in the back room and were trying to figure out how to make $100 bills out of dollar bills. But if you remember when we had the Ryan boys were here, and when you did it for them, they looked up at their father and they said, "Dad, if you could do that, you wouldn't have to work." You remember that?
I do.
That was Austin that made that comment, and their eyes were like silver dollars, and it was you were doing something that I enjoyed, and bringing the kids up to help you do the magic, and you could tell they were really, really enjoying themselves, and it meant a lot to them.
Yeah. It means a lot to me that you remember these details so well, because a lot of what I do as a magician is about trying to create great memories for people, and the fact that you've got so many incredible, tiny specific details from these stories warms my heart. So, and I feel like a little awkward because we're in this studio and everybody's kind of looking at me right now, and I know they're all thinking the same thing. They all are wanting to see some magic. probably. Would now be a good time, or do you have other plans?
Well, can you do a quick one, and then we can go and visit Ted?
Absolutely. I'll show you my. This is my favorite trick that I do this time of year because, as you know, it's very cold out.
Pick
And
my pocket.
yeah, so here, let's see what I've got. Yeah, and so I'm always ready to go. Always. Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness, I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either.
Here, you can touch it. It's still warm. It's still warm. And Leo, you can go ahead, put it in your pocket if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, just go ahead, put it in your pocket. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah,
It's
great.
gonna burn in there now.
I was going to say it will catch on fire later. Yeah, later on. All right. Well, we'll do something real quick, and I know we have Rosemarie and Ted here, but it's a lot of times, the big question this time of year comes down to, kids want to know, were they nice enough to get any presents, and so actually it's kind of difficult to wait because you have to wait sometimes weeks, if not a whole year, to find out whether you were naughty or nice. And thankfully, because I'm friends with Santa, he has entrusted me with a naughty or nice test that I can do. And this is kind of like the rapid version of the test. You don't have to wait 2 weeks or a year to get the results. So here, let me see what I've got here. Leo, if you wouldn't mind, take this Sharpie and go ahead.
It's not going to catch fire.
No, it won't catch a fire. Put your name right down here on this part of the card. You can just do your initials if you like. It's up to you.
I'll just give you my first name.
Perfect.
Okay.
And just so our friends at home can see, there we go. We've got Leo's initials right there on the card. And Leo, if you wouldn't mind, do me a favor, right hand or left hand?
I'm right hand.
Okay, and I'll trade you for the marker. If you could just hold that in your right hand in a closed fist. And Leo, go ahead, pick anybody else out of the audience here. Just point to somebody, it doesn't matter who.
Right there.
Ron?
Yep.
Ron, we were talking about you earlier. I assume your name is spelled the usual way, R-O-N. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and do one up for Ron. Put the cap back on that. And Ron, we're going to find out how naughty or nice you've been this year. So go ahead. I'll hold this here. Ron, do me a favor. I want you to think of all the naughty or nice things you've done this year. Focus on them. Leo, I want you to focus on all the naughty or nice things you've done this year. And as you hold that and as I hold this, the test will sort of begin to develop here. And I think that's about enough time. Let's take a look. Let's see. Oh, Ron, you were nice this year, Ron. Way to go. You can clap for Ron. He deserves that. All right, Leo, let's take a look. Let's see how you're doing. If you'll get any. Oh, Leo. Oh, Leo, naughty. Oh my goodness. Leo, I know you were talking about that lion, from before. You might want to check, and you might get the lion for Christmas this year. You don't know.
That would be awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for letting me do the naughty or nice test with you there. And I guess we can carry on in whatever direction you'd like. So.
Well, I would like to. It's a mind blower. Let's go to Ted. Ted, I know you probably have I hope you have a bunch more.
I got tricks, all sorts of things going on. So, but let's continue on. You can always come back to me.
Okay.
Leo.
Ted. Ted.
I'm so sorry we got here too late to see you off down the street getting off the steamboat, I was picking off the greatness.
Well, I ran out of steam, and
you got it, hey.
yeah, I got it, but you don't know how much of a pleasure it's been to have you in the beginning.
Oh, it's been
and
real pleasure.
And anytime I ever called, I knew that when I called on you, you wouldn't let me down. And then You brought Rosemary Rose into the picture.
Thank you, Leo.
Very
Thank you, Ted.
beautiful voice and a beautiful.
Much better than mine.
No comment. uh, and you're a perfect duo. You work so well together.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Leo.
And how does it feel, Rosemary, to work with an old man?
Well,
Makes me feel better.
I'm very fortunate.
I
feel very
agree. I
fortunate.
agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. And I don't care if they're watching, but when we did the memorial for my first lead guitarist, Jim Femino, they had other entertainers on after you, and if I was involved with any of that group, I think I would have just went home, because the two of you blew them away.
Well, that's
Totally.
nice. But we had to go anyway. No, I'm kidding. But no, well, thank you for that. And let me, speaking of Jim Femino, all right, years ago,
Right.
I would see him play around town once in a while when he was doing his solo act. And one time it was near the train station, the name of that lounge. What was the name of the lounge? Yeah, I forget.
Oh.
The Whistle Stop, maybe. I don't know if it was the Whistle
Yeah,
Stop.
I think it
was it?
the Whistle Stop.
Well, the reason I started playing a lot of acoustic solo acts back then is he blew me away when I saw him playing upstairs there, and he played the last song of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, A Day in the Life. And he played it like, I'm there, wow, I've never heard anyone play this on acoustic, make it sound like it is. And that the next day I was just trying, I started playing it when I was playing around all the time, because I've never heard anyone to this day other than him and me now
Right.
play that song, and that it blew me away. I knew how talented he was, but I heard that and I was just like, holy crap, you know. So,
Yeah.
and it was sad to hear, back when it happened.
He was that good.
Yeah.
He, the band, the thing about my band was the band's name was The Birth of the Beat.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear a lot of weird names that come out describing bands, and how we come up with that name, I have no idea. But people couldn't remember the name of our band, but they remembered us.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, you mentioned, I was very pleased to see that you remembered when Burger Chef.
I saw that this morning. I was scrolling through the
Yeah.
Facebook, and it was Salem, some Salem station on Facebook said they had a picture of the Burger Chef there
Yeah.
on North Street, and the time that you shut the whole overpass down because they were
the
playing.
whole overpass down.
I saw that this
Yeah.
morning, a picture of it.
As a matter of fact, the supervisor, I think hamburgers were like 15 cents.
Cheeseburgers were 19.
And, and we're the ones that approached them, and we offered to do it for nothing. And the supervisor came out and he approached me, and he reached into his pocket and he pulled out a $10 bill and he handed it to me, and I said, "What's this for?" He said, "I haven't done this much business since I got this job." He said, "You guys are incredible." He says, and it seems like you have other friends coming in and playing too. I said, yeah, they are friends from other bands that just happen to be. He said, yeah, but the police also called me, and he said, you shut down the overpass. People were starting to park on the overpass, which stopped the traffic, and we didn't care. We just kept playing.
How old were you when that? Were you a teenager, right?
I was, we were all around 15,
Yeah.
16 years
That's
old.
what I thought. I remember.
And we had just cut a record. It was playing on the radio, and it was a 45, and the name of the songs were "Love," and the flip side was "What You Doing to Me." And I can remember when 3 professors from Berklee College of Music saw me playing, and they approached me and they said, son, how would you like to go to Berklee College? I quit school in the 8th grade, and I didn't have a dime to my name. And I said, that's the best college in the country. They said, that's right. And we're 3 professors from that college, and we'd like to put you through it for nothing. I said, well, I don't know. Now, as you definitely would know, with all the attention that we were getting, I mean, through the North Shore, we were in demand. We were the house band at the Upbeat. We had a record. It was playing on the radio. So 15, 16 years old, we felt like the Beatles.
Yeah.
It was, I had no thoughts about going back to school. And when people heard that story, they would say to me, did you ever pursue it? And I said, no. And they said, why? They said, you could have been a drum teacher. I said, I don't need a piece of paper to teach somebody how to play the drums.
Yeah.
And they looked at me and said, yeah, that's true. But
I got to tell you, I was offered to go to Berkeley. My father, and now this is the truth. Really. My father said, you want to go to Berkeley? And I said, well, I know how to play music. I don't need to read it. And he goes, well, you can go to Berkeley under one condition. I said, what condition is that, Dad? And he goes, you get a haircut. And I said, don't worry about it. I'll be fine. Yeah. But
well,
that $10 bill the manager gave to you, right? Now, my band, I don't know what you did with it, but my band, we were 15 or 16. We would find a way to go buy a case of beer at the bunghole with that $10. Trust me, underage and all that. I had a blonde mustache back then, and I would put Buster Brown shoe polish on it. I would go into the bunghole, and I was always designated to get the beer and the tango and all that stuff there, and it was unbelievable. I don't know if I went in there, and I'll never forget the first time. I go into the bunghole, and the guy's there is Joe Hedio, and he's probably passed away by now. I go in the bunghole.
hopefully.
Oh yeah, so I go in there and I got Schlitz. No, it's called 45. That's 16-ounce cans, and I would tango and sometimes get awful whiskey and all that. I'll never forget. I go up to there. He goes, "How you doing? I'm all set here." And he goes, "How you doing, boy?" I said, "Oh, very good. How your mother and grandmother?" And he knew I wasn't of age, but from that day on, I was always in there. That's what we would have done with the $10 bill.
I haven't a clue. There were only 4 members in my band, and
Well, we had
I
Joe
believe
right
we split it to 2 1/4 each. That was it.
Well, you should have
And-
called me. I could have got you in the back. I would have had my
Well,
shoe polish on just to
no, that's one
point you in the
thing-
wrong direction.
That's one thing we didn't do. We didn't drink. We didn't do drugs. We didn't do any of that stuff. All our food and drugs and booze was music.
Yeah.
We ate it, talked it. That's
Yeah.
all we ever did.
Sa-
It was
Salem High.
music.
Salem High, I had the long hair, and everyone thought I was smoking pot. Whatever they were all doing. Behind Salem High was the big hill where everybody did all their things up there. I'll never forget. One of them saw me in the hallway and goes, "Ted, do you have any papers on you?" And I had my school books and with the
Yeah.
the lines and all
Yeah.
that. And I opened it. How many pieces of paper do you want? He said,
Yeah.
"Oh, you don't understand what I'm saying." No, I don't. I said, well, you don't smoke? I said, no, we only drink Schlitz beer.
Well, I have
Getting off
to
the
say
subject.
this, and then you two are gonna have to get up and play for us. But as the people at home know, when I had the police on the show, I smoke marijuana now. I haven't done that in 30 years, but because of my health, every night I don't drink. I mean, they drink. I don't drink, but every night before I go to bed, probably 4 or 5 puffs, and it really helps me sleep. It's good for what ails me, and I'm not stoned.
Hmm.
I'm easy. It's easy for me to fall asleep. It calms me
It's
down.
natural type
Yeah.
of thing. It's not like you're taking real pills and all that.
Right,
It takes me a long time to
but
aspirin's nothing,
yeah,
just a
it's
little
not
bit.
like it wants to, because I do a few puffs a night. Thank God. I mean, I pray every day, every night. I talk to my mother. She was my best fan. I have to say this because I miss my mother. I took care of her from 1993 until 2004 when she passed away. And she was my biggest fan. She would watch me every show live. And when I got home, the first words out of her mouth was, "Don't they have a mirror in that place?" And why, Ma? Your hair was out of place. Or your tie was crooked. Yeah, but Ma, how was the show? Oh, the show was good. It's always good. And that I have to say, every single show, we've never had a bad show. After the second year, I never, ever worried about the show being bad. Why? Because I had talent like you and Rosemarie and Anton. And I could always count on the three of you. And you don't know what a blessing it is being executive producer and the host, putting a show together. It's,
I have my own show here.
you have your own, that's right.
3 years.
And it's not an easy thing to do. And you should know, carrying around paper with lights on fire in your pocket. But how about some music?
Oh,
and
yes.
we'll come back and shoot the breeze again.
All right, hold on. Let's.
Well, while they get into position,
Yeah, there you go. Thank
I
you.
actually brought a little something here, Leo, and no pressure. You don't have to have one of these right now, but I will tell you that a tradition in our family is to make Christmas cookies And these are my favorite ones to make. They're actually like little wreath cookies. Let me see if I can figure out the trick to opening this box. Where's yeah, check that out right there. They're little green wreath cookies. They're kind of almost, yeah, paper was in the way. Let's try that again. So there you go. That's them right there. There's some of my favorites, but I'm going to have one while we enjoy some music. They're like a Rice Krispie treat. I know they're green. Might be a little weird.
Yeah, weird.
They are, but it's like a Rice Krispie treat, and it's got a little red cinnamon hot there. But I'm going to go ahead and take one. I'm going to have one right now. I will leave them here, but feel free to have one yourself if you'd like.
I want to look at them first.
Go for it. Go for it. But yeah, there we go. That's that. It's a little wreath cookie. You can find the recipe online. They're a lot of fun to make, and if you like Rice Krispies, you'll love these. So.
I'm going to watch you.
It doesn't catch fire, just so you know.
Well, I didn't know if something was going to jump out of the box.
So now I've got my mouth full, which I know. Are we guys ready to rock? Let's do it. Let's go.
Is it getting better? Do you feel the same? Will it make it easier on you now? You've got someone to blame. You say one love, one life, when it's one need in the night. One love, you get to share it, leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint you? Leave a bad taste in your mouth. You act like you never had love. You want me to go proud? Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. We're one, but we're not the same. We've got to carry each other, carry each other. Have you come here for forgiveness? Have you come to raise the dead? Have you come here to play Jesus? To the lepers in your head? Did I ask too much? More than love? You gave me nothing, now it's all I've got. We're one, but we're not the same. We hurt each other, then we do it again. You say, love is a temple, love the higher law. Love is a temple, love the higher law. You ask me to enter, then you make me cry.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm walking beside her. People tell me I'm lucky. Yes, I know I'm a lucky guy. I remember the first time I was lonely without her. Yes, I'm thinking about her now. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me, yeah. When I'm with her, I'm happy, just to know that she loves me. Yes, I know that she loves me now. There is one thing I'm sure of, I will love for forever. 'Cause you know love can never die. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me, yeah. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me, yeah. When I'm with her, I'm happy, just to know that she loves me. Yes, I know that she loves me now. There is one thing I'm sure of, I will love for forever. 'Cause you know love can never die. Every little thing she does for me, yeah. And you know the things she does for me, yeah. Every little thing, every little thing, every little thing. Baby, you come knocking on my front door. Same old lie you used to use me for. I said, yeah, well, what am I supposed to do? I didn't know what I was getting into. So you had a little trouble in town. Now you're keeping some demons down. Stop dragging my heart around. It's hard to think about what you wanted. It's hard to think about what you've lost. Doesn't have to be the big and even. Doesn't have to be anything at all. I know you really wanna tell me goodbye. I know you really wanna be around, girl. Maybe you could never look me in the eye. Now you're buckled with the weight of the words. Stop dragging my heart around. 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 Don't wanna live like a refugee. Don't wanna live like a refugee. Don't wanna live like a refugee. Don't wanna live like a refugee.
It's about 25 minutes.
Yeah, one more and we'll bring Anton back.
Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always miss with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. And I love you. Yes, I love you. Oh, how I love you. Oh, gazing at people, some hand in hand. Just what I'm going through, they can't understand. Some try to tell me thoughts they cannot defend. Just what you want to be will be in the end. And I love you. Yes, I love you. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Letters I've written, never meaning to send. Beauty I'd always miss with these eyes before. Just what the truth is, I can't say anymore. And I love you. Yes, I love you.
At the end of the show, you have to play my favorite Christmas song by John Lennon.
Okay. Not the dirty one.
Okay, Anton's turn.
Leo, yeah, that was amazing. That music is, I love coming to the show and getting to hear it year after year. And I think we're getting the cameras in place. Oh, hi people out there in TV land. Leo, what we're going to do next is actually going to be for the people at home, okay? They're going to experience the magic right from where they're watching right now. And if you're in the studio here, you'll be able to play along too. But I think David, who's in the booth, if you could cue up that graphic, that image that I sent you ahead of time, if we could magically make that appear. Yeah, look at that. So if you're in the studio, you can go ahead and look at that graphic. And those are some iconic holiday items there. We have presents and decorations and a fireplace and some cozy socks, which I know I have my cozy socks on right now. We have a scarf. We have a candle. We have some soup, which is good on a cold day, a snowman, a sled. We have a house where a family might be gathered, a snow globe, and a wreath. And so I want you to look at those items there, viewers at home. And there are some things you might gravitate towards right away, like I'm a fan of a good bowl of soup, personally. So I don't want you to think that I'm making any assumptions based on what people's preferences might be. So we're going to play a little game, and you're going to end up picking one of these items sort of randomly. So what I want you to do right now is, if you have more than one person watching with you, have one person come up to the TV close enough that they can touch the screen, but don't block the screen from the other viewers, all right? Now, what I want you to do is go ahead, either take your pointer finger, that's going to be your magic finger, or imagine taking your finger and placing it on any item that's name is in red, that their name appears in red. So go ahead, place your finger right now on any item where the name appears in red. All right, now I have no way of knowing what item you've chosen, but we're going to continue to mix this up and move it a little further. So from wherever you are right now, whatever red item you've chosen, I want you to move your finger straight left or right, side to side, left or right, to the nearest item that's name is in a green box. Go ahead and do that now. Move your finger to the left or right to the nearest item that's in a green box. All right. Now we're going to continue to mix this up even further. This time we'll go in a different direction. From wherever your finger is now, whatever item that's name is in a green box, move your finger straight up or down. Go straight up or down to the nearest item that's name is in a red box. Go ahead and do that now. Perfect. Now this time we'll go crazy. Go diagonally, whichever diagonally you choose, to the nearest item that's name is in a green box. Go ahead and do that. So diagonally to the nearest item in green. Great job. And this time we'll go, how about side to side? Again, that's left to right in your row. Go straight left or right to the nearest item that's name is in a red box. And go ahead and keep your finger right there. And I'll tell you what, we'll call it quits right there. So whatever item your finger happens to be on right now, I want you to remember everything you can about it. Remember the way it looks. If you've ever interacted with this item, how it might feel or taste or smell, or the sensations you get. And of course, remember the name of it. And then we're going to go back to me in 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, bring the cameras back to my face. We're going to make some magic happen. All right, viewing audience at home, I have something I want to share with you. This is straight from the North Pole. Now, I know it might not look like much, but this card actually has some old Elvish on it. If we could zoom in, is there a way that we could get a little close? I can actually, you know what? I can go, I'm wireless, guys. So I can come right up. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm coming right up to the camera. Let's see if we can get a little, if it will focus. Will it focus on that? Let's see. Can we do it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have an invisible cameraman, but we got Ron, old pro Ron, jumping up out of the audience. Let's see. Let's get that focus. Again, it's old Elvish. It's old Elvish, okay? But right here, if you visualize the thing you were thinking of at home on the tip of this lighter, we should be able to make a little magic happen as we move the lighter over the lettering. You can actually see the lettering start to change shape. And right about there, you should be able to see the thing that you were imagining. And guys, there you go. If you see the thing you were imagining, you are magic yourself. So thank you guys so much for participating in that magic at home. I'm going to go back over here and say, oh, thank you guys, thank you. I'm going to go back over here now. Oh my goodness, all right. Well, Leo, you know, I was thinking about today, and
Did your mother ever tell you not to play with matches?
you know, she did, and I don't play with matches. I am a professional, you know, so don't try this at home, I guess. Oh, and we just went dark. Oh, and we're back. That was my next trick. I made the lights go off in the studio, and now we're back in the game. But, you know, I was thinking about today, Leo, and I was thinking about all the, you know, again, you've known me for 24 years now, which is no small amount of time, you know.
No.
And, you know, thinking about all the memories and all the great people you've gotten to meet and have here on the show, you know, one of the things is that it's so hard to put all that together, you know, and over all these years, 24 years. And so I tried my best. I spent a little time before we came here today, and I did some research and looking around, and I tried to find some visual moments, some highlights of the show from the past 24 years. And I know you've done so much. You've met so many people, had so many great guests here. There's no way I could get them all into a 3-minute video. But we do have a video that hopefully has some fond memories for you as well. I know there's some fond memories for me in the video. Well, there was, yeah, I was hearing some phantom applause. You know, always heard the studio was haunted, you know.
It is.
But yeah, so many awesome memories, and one of the memories that for me was one of my all-time favorites. I had to capture a little differently. And so I've brought it here. I'd like you to open that now.
Gonna blow up.
No, it's not going to catch fire.
Gonna catch on fire.
That part of the act is done.
You carry a fire extinguisher?
No, I'm just ready to jump on it, though, in a moment's notice.
Open it today.
That's Paul. He's sitting in the heckler section. I'll get rid of the gift wrap for you.
To Leo, love Anton.
Let's see it. Come on.
You know, it's Santa Claus, Anton the Great, and myself.
So, and we can show it right over here. Yeah, so that is the most unlikely three-person panel you might ever come across. You've got Santa Claus, a magician, and of course the legend Leo. So, Leo, when I think about all the years of being on the show, this moment was one of my absolute favorite. It was the first time I got to sit next to you as if I was a co-host, as opposed to just coming on and off and doing my tricks. And you know, and the icing on top was the fact Santa Claus was there. I couldn't believe that he had actually stopped in. He's a very busy guy this time of year. But when I think back over the past 24 years, that's in my heart the image that I see. So thank you for making that happen.
Well, I want to thank you. It's a beautiful picture of actually every Christmas that I've had you here was awesome.
Thank you, Leo.
I mean, I can't be prejudiced towards any of the others because you know, you're part of my memory, and I don't. You know, I feel I'm very fortunate to have. I mean, I saw all the people that you put up on the screen. I don't know where the hell you got them. But
That's part of my secret. I can't give it away.
yeah,
It was magic.
yeah. Well, we never gave any of your secrets away.
No, you did not.
I've never figured any of them out. But I want to thank you, Anton.
Of course,
I'll
Leo.
treasure this I'll put it next to the playing card that you gave me at the end of one of the shows. And believe me, I'll cherish this for the rest of my life, which could be tomorrow or who knows.
Yeah, and true for any of us, but I will cherish it as well. So thank you, Leo. And I know it looks like you know, we maybe have like just under 10 minutes left here, and I know we've got some more music we want to play, but I wanted to share one last thing. It's not a magic trick, but to me it's magical. And traditions are such an important thing for me, and I'm lucky to have some great family traditions, and being here on the show has been a family tradition of mine to be able to come back and be a part of it. It means a lot. But one of my favorite traditions is every year my family gathers at my parents' house and we sing Christmas carols. And this is actually the songbook that we use, that we sing from every year. And it's got all the classics, all the songs you might know. But at the very end, every year we always end on the same song. And I'm not going to embarrass myself by singing it here today because we do have real musicians in the house. But I wanted to read the words to it. They say that beginnings are usually happy and endings are sad. And this is a sad ending, but I'm very happy to be here. And the sentiment in this song, the same way that we close our family sing together, I thought it would be nice if the last thing that I shared on Salem Now was this song. So it's the song is "Let There Be Peace on Earth." And so I'd like to read the words because I think they're more relevant now than ever. So, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brother in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. So thank you. Thank you. So, Leo, the pleasure has been all mine. It's been an honor to sit here with you today, and thank you for everything big and small you've done for me and for everyone else over the years. So,
You're very welcome, Anton.
thank you. Thank you.
My pleasure, and it's like the parents when they thank me for having their child on the show, like Sue, your mother, who is here, and she's a dear sweetheart, and including your father, Tom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I demanded that they be at a certain event, they were there.
Yep.
So if he said I demanded it, he wasn't lying. I was serious because I wanted you and Mr. Andresen to be there, to enjoy what I've been enjoying all these years, and I'm sure you enjoyed it at home also. Probably drove you crazy sometimes, but.
Occasionally.
Yeah. Well, my mother, she had to listen to my drumming, but she never halted my ways. Sometimes I could hear her foot stomping from the basement, and when my band used to practice in the basement, and we would take a break, go upstairs to the kitchen where she was sitting, and one of the band members, Paul probably remembers, would say, "How was it, Mrs. J?" And she would say, "Well, the last song was great, but the one before that, I think you got to work on it." So when we went back down the basement to practice more, someone would say, "Well, what number are we going to do now?" And whoever asked Mrs. J, they said, "Well, you heard Mrs. J, we got to work on that song." And that's what we did. So, like I say, I miss my mother, and my biggest fan, and she's irreplaceable. And I want to remind the people at home, you know, there's an awful lot of selfishness during this time of the year, and about, I didn't get this for Christmas, I didn't get that for Christmas. You're forgetting one important thing. It's Jesus Christ's birthday. And you shouldn't get any presents. He's the one that should be getting your love and your thanks for everything you already have. So just remember that around Christmas time, when Christmas comes and you don't get what you want, it's not what you want, because it's not your birthday, it's Jesus' birthday. Don't forget that.
Not to be selfish, Leo, but you know what I want right now? I want one more killer song to take us out here tonight.
I asked a friend at home, I asked Ted and Rosemary Rose to play my favorite Christmas song by John Lennon.
So this is Christmas, and what have you done? Another year over, a new one just begun. So this is Christmas, I hope you have fun. We're nearing the dear ones, the old and the young. A Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any tears. This is his Christmas, for weak and for strong, dear and the dear ones, the road is so long. Yes, this is Christmas, for black and for white, the yellow and red ones, let's stop all the fight. A Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's a good one without any tears. War is over if you want it. War is over now. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Leo.
Christmas.